special requests. And I'm a poet, so I have to spice it up a little bit of a poem here. A virgin at heart, your flesh seared in sin, pain, tears, and sorrow burrowed within. Rage and defiance, your shield and your sword, to yield unto those who dare call you Lord. I was showing them all that I didn't need one fucking thing from them. Sticking my tongue out at society, my mother, all men, and God. I was a woman, hear me roar. Never mind how I felt the morning after. I feel better after my first glass of sangria. Wasn't that made with fruit? Yeah, that was my breakfast of champions. This was just another day for a 17-year-old single mom trying to survive. I pressed the gas pedal on my rundown blue Chevy Malibu. Old girl was hanging in there by a thread. New girl, me, was hanging by a thread too. I couldn't wait to get to work, so I put down my first double scotch and soda. It had been a hard day. My toddler had a butt rash, my rent was due, and the babysitter was late. Coming up to my exit, I could see the big neon sign flashing in bright fuchsia letters, the dollhouse. Yep, that was my place of employment. I liked the fact that I was working at the dollhouse. It made me feel like I was a doll. I felt like a woman, all self-dependent, supporting my kid, my sister, and myself. I liked that I could slip out of my black tassel bra with ease after my second double scotch, that is. I liked the wolf calls, the whistles, and the admiration in the men's eyes as I blunted my stuff on stage. I liked the fact that I was now officially a topless dancer. I grabbed my purse and walked as fast as my stilettos would allow, with the wind in my hair and my slinky red dress clinging tightly around my body. I had the whole world in my hand. I walked into the club and slipped into my lioness stride, smooth, sexy, young, and mean. Suddenly, my joy of anticipation dropped like a cement brick down to the dirty carpeted hallway that led to the dressing rooms. My red carpet turned into a grubby, grimy, booze-stained brown rug. There was Mike, standing at the end of the bar with a big grin on his face. He reminded me of the big bad wolf waiting for a Little Red Riding Hood. I swear I saw him lick his lips. I shuddered inside. The thought of him feasting on me was repulsive. "There's my girl, the belle of the ball," he hollered out from across the end of the bar. I remember thinking, what the fuck is he doing here? Oh yeah, he owns the damn place. He was holding the "you owe me" card over my head every chance he got. After all, not just anybody would hire a 17-year-old to dance topless. I better not forget his benevolence. And I knew exactly what the price was. I just didn't know if there was enough scotch in the world to load up on before screwing him. I downed my drink while reaching down behind myself with one hand to make sure my thong was neatly tucked in my butt crack. I walked up to the stage in all my glory. It was a long, narrow stage about the size of 2 banquet tables, but to me it was showtime at the Apollo. It was lined with mirrors, and a shiny carousel-type pole sat in the middle. I stepped out onto the stage to the tune of R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what that means to me. Aretha Franklin. Respect. How ironic. How moronic, too. It was a busy night and tips were good. These dumb GIs didn't know they were putting 20s or 1s in my thong as they slobbered at the edge of the stage with glassy eyes. They were way too fucked up to care. I was way too fucked up to care. But not too fucked up not to cringe every time Mike breathed his hot, boozy-smelling whispers in my ear between my sets. "You're looking good, honey. Have you given some thought to our little business deal?" He said as he leaned over me from behind and grabbed 2 handfuls of tit. He had been talking to me about these so-called friends he had who ran an escort service. They were supposedly a legit, respectable wife and husband team who ran a good old ma and pa business. Like they were selling fucking teddy bears or something. Mike ran it down for me like a pro. You sit around looking pretty until someone calls for an escort, then you just show up and escort them anywhere they want to go. Never mind, the only place they wanted to go was 3 feet ahead to the hotel bed. No, these gentlemen didn't really want to go, they wanted to come. So, before we went anywhere, I would need to collect for either half an hour or a whole hour of my company. This was the agency's cut. Anything else besides my lovely company was considered a tip, and that was mine to keep. The arrangement would then be strictly between the client and me. Then I would have the choice of where, how, and how much it would cost him. Oh, and by the way, I must always remember it is business before pleasure. Me first. Yeah, I thought about it, but I'm having problems with my babysitter, I said as nonchalantly as I could. Come on, baby, you're a gold mine. You can make $300 to $500 per client. I don't know what behooved me to say, fine, I'll give it a try, but if it doesn't really pay, I'm not gonna do it. Mike's face lit up like a neon sign outside. He had this slimy, sly smile on his face, like I'd imagine a starved man would have when presented with a T-bone steak. Ugh, what the fuck am I doing? I thought to myself. At that moment, I wanted to run, to spit in his face, to run as fast and far as I could, but my feet were like cement blocks. My butt glued to the bar stool. This tiny glimmer of sanity in the back of my head kept saying, don't do it. I downed my 9th scotch. The voice faded away. All right then, that's my girl. I'll take you down tomorrow before you start your shift, and I'll introduce you to them, I said. But you do know what that means, don't you? What? I said, dreading what was about to pour out of his filthy mouth. Well, that means you gotta get initiated. Oh yeah? I asked in a feigned I don't give a shit attitude. Well, honey, tonight I'm gonna take you for a ride and show you the ropes, he said. Scotch, don't fail me now, I thought as I shrugged my shoulders